Welcome to Mike. This is your host, Mike Cannon, and today, of course, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the two trades that went down. One went down at like 12 a.m. yesterday, or, well, I guess today, and one went down at about mid morning yesterday. Anyways, the two trades I'm going to be talking about. Well, first, before I get to those trades, make sure to like and subscribe. We're at 40 subscribers right now, so we're rolling kind of strong. One of our videos got to 900 views, which is, I guess that's pretty good. But anyhow, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, the first trade I'm going to talk about is the one that happened first, the Chris Paul trade. Now, this trade was, in my opinion, one of the best trades that this team, the Suns, could have done. Chris Paul brings this team from a maybe playoff team all the way to a guaranteed playoff team. I really think the Suns are going to compete this year. They have Chris Paul at the point guard. You have Devin Booker at the shooting guard, and you got to think about it. Chris Paul is going to take away the point guard. Sometimes they had Devin Booker at point guard, and with Chris Paul there now, it's going to take some of that away. So Devin Booker can now focus on what he's good at, and not having to focus on bringing the ball up the court and running the entire offense. And yeah, he still maintains that skill set. So, anyways, that's going to make either way. That's just going to make Devin Booker a better player. Of course, they have the big three. Seems like right now it's Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated big men in the NBA. He averaged like 19 and 12 last year. He's an absolute tank. He owns the paint. DeAndre Ayton is a beast. I think he's going to make a huge leap this year. Same with Devin Booker. Now that he has Chris Paul, well, this goes for him and DeAndre Ayton. Now that he has Chris Paul, he has somebody that's going to push them to be their best on offense. Not just offense, but even defense. I think Chris Paul is going to make those two players and that team a much better team than they were last year. And coming off of the 8-game winning streak, the 8-0 streak they did in the bubble, I think it's going to be a great start to the season. You need to look out for this team, though, because I won't put them in title contention, but if you make the playoffs, no matter what seed you are, you never know. Like we saw the Miami Heat almost win a title. They were 2 wins away from a title this year. And nobody, not even me, I knew they were a great team, and I knew they were underrated. I knew they played hard, but nobody knew that the Miami Heat were. We didn't know that they were that kind of team. We didn't know that they would make the finals, basically. And I'm telling you, don't be surprised if Phoenix pushes those great teams. Don't be surprised. Chris Paul could see himself maybe lower in the rankings a little bit. He pushed OKC to like 5. So you got to think that he's probably going to push Phoenix to an even better ranking this year. But even then, I think his threshold, Phoenix has the talent to be number 2 or 3 in the entire conference. But, realistically, I think they're going to be about 4 or 5, somewhere in that little bracket. Of course, number 1 is going to be the Lakers. Then you have, the West is stacked this year. The West is going to be a very, very tough conference to get out of. Of course, you have the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors. You can name team after team. Even the Nuggets. You have so many great teams in the West right now, and it's just hard to pick one. And you even have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a really, really good basketball team. They're not terrible. And the Blazers, you have to think of all these people here. But I think that Chris Paul makes this team much better. It's one of the best trades that could have happened. They did trade some picks. It's obvious that OKC is in a rebuild. I didn't like that they had to give away Kelly Oubre, but for Chris Paul, I'll definitely give away Kelly Oubre. But my feelings for the trade, that trade is definitely an A- in my book. I won't give it the A+ because we don't know how the team's going to gel together, but the A- because, the A in general, because it's a great trade. Chris Paul takes the point guard responsibility away from Devin Booker, and he can share the ball. He's going to push them to be their best, and he just dragged an OKC team to a playoff spot this year. What makes you think he won't? He won't even have to drag this team this year if you think about it, but what makes you think he won't lead this Phoenix Suns team to a playoff berth? It's an A-. Great trade. Phoenix, you guys went from your eyes to the 8th seed to your eyes up to the 5th seed. I'm pretty sure Phoenix fans are pretty happy about that. Now, the second trade. The Milwaukee Bucks traded for Jrue Holiday. They traded 5 picks and they traded Dante DiVincenzo and George Hill. They traded a lot for that. And that shows you that they are fully invested in keeping Giannis there, and I don't blame them. If Giannis leaves, then this whole trade practically blows up right in their faces. They'd be gone. They'd be 5 picks gone. But if they finish, like first in the conference, like they've been doing for the past 2 years, then it won't matter, quite frankly, because the picks are going to be super low picks and nobody cares really. But the Bucks are in some serious title contention. They might have the best starting 5 in the league, and their bench is the only weakness of their team. Their bench is looking kind of rough at this point, but I still think they are in contention. I think the Bucks are in finals contention just like they are every season. They're going to repeat the regular season. They're going to go, I say they're going to win. Well, they're only playing 72 games, so I think they're going to win 50, maybe even 60 games. They have probably the best starting 5 in the league. You're looking at Jrue Holiday. Then at shooting guard, you have Bogdan Bogdanovic, another guy that they traded for. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I believe. Then you have Chris Middleton. Then you have Giannis, of course, the superstar. And then you have Brook Lopez, who is a great center, can play defense. He's gotten better all around in this game. This team is the best starting 5, or one of the best starting 5s in the league. Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday as second and third options, no matter which way they go. Both of them might be all-stars this season. It takes a lot of pressure off Giannis having to bring the ball up on the perimeter. It can put him in the paint where he thrives most. I think everybody benefits from this trade. Besides giving away 5 picks and 2 of your bench players, I like this trade, and I'll give this trade an A because it is great. Well, no, I'll give it a B. Because it is great to upgrade your starting 5, but at the same time, your depth is looking kind of thin right now, especially at the backup point guard position. At the backup everything, the depth is looking kind of bad, which is not usually good for a team. But anyhow, I think that is a great trade. I believe that automatically puts the Bucks in title contention. Well, they were in title contention last year, but it puts them higher in title contention. They have dominated the East for the past 2 years, but the East they're a great conference. They're not a run-over conference. They're not trash teams in the East. While the West is the better winning conference, the East is still there too. Like the Heat, we saw what they did last year. Like how you have to think, how are you going to guard this Bucks teams now? Speaking of the Heat, what they did was guard the perimeter and stop Giannis from getting to the paint, forcing him to shoot jump shots. But now you have Jrue Holiday handling the ball up the floor, Giannis in the paint, and a knockdown shooter and Chris Middleton on the wing. How are you going to guard that? You're either going to double Giannis in the paint because he's going to destroy people one-on-one. You're either going to double him in the paint and leave somebody open, whether that be Bogdanovic, or Chris Middleton, even Brook Lopez. Everybody on this team can shoot a 3. So you either risk leaving somebody open or leave Giannis in the middle by himself in a one-on-one back to the basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a top 5 player in the league. Yeah, there is no way to guard that team, just in case you didn't know. You can't guard that lineup unless somebody just has a ridiculously cold night, which is possible, but I give this trade a B. I didn't like that they traded Dante DiVincenzo. I didn't like that they traded their backup point guard in George Hill, and I didn't like that they traded all those picks. I feel like they could have definitely pulled off a trade that was more fitting for the future. However, if Giannis stays and they win a championship this year, then this trade pays off. But as of right now, I have to give it a B+ or a B. Anyhow, that's it for this episode of On the Mic. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. All that's going to be up here as usual. If you want more trade news, make sure to put it in the comments. Micah this happened, Micah that happened. Or I'll check on Instagram. Eventually, I'll get to all the trade news. This video is going to drop on Wednesday, which is tomorrow from the time I'm recording this. So anyways, thank you for watching. I will catch you guys next episode.